The Saga of Zatoichi, an essay by Justin C. Bartlett written on March 11th, 2016. This is from the Dime Store Cinema WordPress blog. Let's talk movies. I don't know about you, but I love a good action movie. Catharsis comes to mind. For a relatively peaceful person like myself, seeing the comeuppance of evil in a safe and often metaphorical environment is invigorating, therapeutic, and, dare I say, even relieving. Watching people perform to the absolute peak of physical ability and beyond makes me revel in my humanism. It touches on a primal desire to witness the human capacity to survive. From John McClane, the Joe Everybody cop who, through sheer force of will, kicks the ass of world-class thieves and terrorists, to Dr. Manhattan, the unforeseen side effect of a science experiment who, through godlike powers, brings about world peace. Heroes are as diverse as anything we could compare them to. What makes a good hero, though? More specifically, what makes a good action movie hero? Why is Martin Riggs a household name while Doug Masters is relegated to obscurity? I posit to you that it all comes down to story. Now, I feel the need to clarify because on the surface, action movie stories in general are about as deep as McDonald's food is healthy. There is more to a story than the mere events the characters are thrust into. The deeper and better crafted the subtext, the more engaging the story becomes. This is particularly important for movies because of time constraints. Having a character whose portrayal suggests an untold yet understood story is the most effective way to make a lasting and memorable movie. If an audience likes a character, they'll follow him or her anywhere. The fastest way to make an audience like a character is to trick them into thinking they know the character. This brings me to what this short post is actually about: Zatoichi. If you read my first post, you already know that I love these movies. Even after 26 films, not including the TV show and the remakes, Ichi is simultaneously an everyman and a demigod. A goof and a master, a comedian and a deadly assassin, a hero and a villain. As a character, Zatoichi manages to personify the entire human experience. Even more baffling, though, he does it in an interesting and infinitely watchable way. Ichi is the untouchable master who suffers. There is no doubt that he will win. He does get hurt along the way, though. Despite his seeming godlike powers with a sword, we are often reminded that he is just a man. He can bleed. His sword can be broken. His pride can be bruised. His senses can even be tricked. His will to live, however, surpasses his frailty. His will to win overcomes all obstacles. Zatoichi's entire backstory was summed up in a 45-second conversation in the first movie. He was a blind traveling masseur who became tired of being afraid and abused, so he dedicated himself to learning the art of swordplay. Cut to, he's the best swordman on earth. I think one of the aspects of the movies that I like is that they are all a postscript of sorts. Ichi has already undergone his hero's journey. Every superhero movie should take note from Zatoichi. Origin stories aren't always necessary. The most compelling aspect of Zatoichi movies is Shintaro Katsu, Zatoichi's performance. Katsu Zatoichi is one of the most layered performances I have ever seen. Since I try to see all the things, that's saying a lot. He balances humor, severity, and innocence and rage better than his character wields a sword. I am blown away every time I watch his performance. All of his choices are spot on, even insignificant things like chin movement. The character he creates is likable even in his worst moments. I feel compelled in closing to address a modern complaint preemptively. Some will call these movies boring. I know it's going to happen, it probably already has. Undoubtedly, these will be the same people who say the first 45 minutes of Alien are boring. I will tell you the Zatoichi films are not action packed thrill rides. I will admit that the majority of the fights only last 15 to 30 seconds. I will gleefully acknowledge the many establishing shots and close ups. Sometimes quick cut induced epileptic waking comas are just what the doctor ordered. Well, probably not the literal doctor. Films like The Bourne Identity, Shoot 'em Up, Deadpool, and the Avengers are important and thoroughly enjoyable. But if you're interested in a little more nuance and subtlety, you could do worse than a Zatoichi marathon.